There had been a massive explosion in the volcano where monsters and dragons gathered. A group of humans had been walking around, their armor heavily loaded, when suddenly a monster appeared behind them to attack. A boy used his power to leap with his sword and cut off its tail. The monster soon realized that not only its tail but its entire body had been sliced with the boy's incredible speed. It turned out that all of this had been the boy's dream. Suddenly, a man placed his hand on the boy's shoulder, startling him, and the boy wondered what he was even doing there. The man remarked that youngsters these days were always lost in strange fantasies. The boy apologized, and the man instructed him to hurry and clear the vines from the path. The boy agreed, thinking it would be bad to leave a mark on his first day. He also reminded himself that, even without being told, people usually handed things over quickly, and he resolved not to get fired again. As he began working, he performed impressive moves to surprise the man, who appreciated the boy's skill while watching him pack the collected vines. While dispatching the items, the boy reflected that perhaps the ruined earth he had seen in his dream was nothing more than a fantasy, like a game whose service had ended and whose world had lost its vitality. At that time, he thought, some nameless absolute had sent heroes from Earth to another world as dispatchers, carrying back the vitality they had brought with them. Humanity, he realized, was barely managing to survive. By evening, after finishing his work, he looked at his weapon and wondered if he could ever become like them. Leaving the site, that thought lingered in his mind. The next day, he was called for work again. When he arrived at the Dispatch Union Center, he noticed that many people had come that day as well. He pushed his way through the crowd, excusing himself as he passed, reminding himself that it was his turn. The man at the center recognized him as Chansu and asked for confirmation. Chansu agreed and mentioned that he was wondering if there had been any progress in the investigation. He discovered that the remaining balance for the reunion down payment was still insufficient. The man explained that the center did not operate on goodwill alone, that the investigation costs had not been covered, and that Chansu should return only when he was fully prepared with the required money. The man called for the next customer, and a second man arrived, pushing Chansu aside. Chansu asked at least to be given some news, even if it was just the location of the world. The other customer, however, insisted it was his turn and reminded Chansu that he was not the only one in difficult circumstances. By nightfall, Chansu returned home. As he arranged a few things around him, he remembered that when he had been a child, his father had been the top-ranked returner. But as Earth's condition worsened, his father had been dispatched again and never returned. His mother had told him that she would go to find his father and would be back in a few days, instructing him to sleep alone and wait quietly. That had been the time he was left entirely alone, and now the memories had grown hazy. He could no longer clearly recall his parents' faces. Suddenly, he saw a very bright light coming from outside the window. When he opened it to check the source, the pressure from the beam struck the ground, knocking him backward into the wall and causing the clock to hit his head. He even fainted from the impact. The next morning, he woke up, wondering what had happened. Checking his phone, he found a disaster alert reporting that due to the aftermath of a returner's mission, gusts and flashes had occurred. The breaking news announced that an emergency Grade 5 returner had retired. Surprised by this news, he wondered what was going on. He watched a report in which a man explained that the returner had failed to protect God, losing all the dispatched who had accompanied him. With no other option, he had returned alone and consequently lost both the ability and the qualification to be dispatched again. After much deliberation, he had chosen retirement, asking everyone to understand and to continue protecting Earth without losing courage. Chansu was shocked, realizing it was not just a failed mission, but also the retirement of the returner. Just then, someone rang the doorbell. Puzzled, he wondered who could be visiting, since no one should be coming for him. Upon opening the door, he was startled to see a rabbit speaking to him. Thinking it might be a prank, he fell back in surprise as the rabbit man explained that he had come with wonderful news. He told Chansu to calm down and congratulated him on becoming a dispatcher. Chansu felt confused, wondering what the rabbit had just said. The rabbit acknowledged his confusion, but assured him that it was true. Chansu had indeed been chosen. To prove it, he showed Chansu a card from the World Dispatch Support Center, asking if he was still doubtful. The rabbit then asked if Chansu had any special skills. Chansu hesitated, explaining that he had been deemed ineligible for dispatch and that the only thing he was good at was trimming trees and flowers. The rabbit seemed momentarily shocked but quickly reassured him, saying that it was fine because everything happened for a reason, and the fact that Chansu had been chosen remained unchanged. Chansu thanked him, thinking that he still could hardly believe he had been selected and that his chance had finally come. The rabbit asked him to allow Secret to speak first. Chansu then faced an enormous door and wondered if the dispatch center lay beyond it. He tried to open it, but it would not budge. The rabbit, noticing his struggle, asked what he was doing, pointing out that the entrance was not there. Looking closer, Chansu realized the actual entrance was extremely small and questioned if it could really be the way in. The rabbit confirmed, asking if there was a problem. Chansu shouted, asking how he was supposed to fit through it. The rabbit replied that it worked fine for him. Chansu remarked that it was because the rabbit was a rabbit, implying that not everyone could pass through. Accepting this, he thought that his expectations did not matter and that he would be going home. The rabbit asked if he was sure about leaving, reminding him that he had failed every test and had been previously ruled ineligible, so such a chance might never come again. He added that he did not want Chansu to misunderstand, as he was merely quoting him, but expressed that it was a shame Chansu was leaving, noting that being chosen had never been easy. He then knelt down, growling to himself as he wondered why he was even doing this and thinking that he probably shouldn't continue. The rabbit told him to hurry up and follow, and Sao Chub pushed himself to finally enter. Once inside, he realized that the room was far more ordinary than he had imagined. The rabbit asked what Sao Chub had been imagining, noting that there was a word that perfectly suited him. Curious, Sao Chub wondered if there were different words for different people. The rabbit confirmed this and explained that the word for Chansu was black bloc type of territory capture. Surprised to hear it, Chansu replied that he had never heard of it and found it strange, wondering why he had acted as if he already knew it. The rabbit laughed and said that it was the hottest place, with the best part being that it was under the protection of a god. Chansu then recalled the news report in which he had heard that the returnee mentioned had also served a god. Rabbit reminded him that, as far as Chansu knew, it had nothing to do with the recent cases. Curious, Chansu asked about that god, and Rabbit explained that normally Chansu would be assigned one at random, but in this case, it had just been decided differently. Rabbit said he would let Chansu choose personally and then showed him 3 cards, asking which one he would pick. Chansu thought he did not even know which one was good. Rabbit pointed out that it was a rare opportunity, and Chansu needed to seize it. Chansu realized Rabbit was right. He wondered when he would get another chance and chastised himself for hesitating. Eventually, he chose the middle card, revealing a god that looked intimidating. He was shocked to discover it was the god of negotiation with a 44% chance. Rabbit told him it was just a presentation, questioning why Chansu was so surprised. Chansu pondered what kind of god would get such a flashy introduction. Even the name sounded terrible to him, and he asked if he could pick another card. When Rabbit agreed, Chansu expressed his gratitude. He explained that he had always ended up with the god of negotiation and noted that it was risky, questioning why he kept drawing the same god. Rabbit reassured him that the cards were fine. Chansu disagreed, saying the cards themselves weren't the problem, but he wondered why Rabbit had suddenly become so serious. Rabbit explained that this was Chansu's last chance and that he needed to choose carefully. Chansu thought he didn't care what he would get, as long as it wasn't the god of negotiation. He picked another card and revealed the god of abundance. The presentation was very plain, but the odds had been extremely low. Chansu felt a strange, almost lewd sensation at encountering the god of abundance, and Rabbit asked what he was even imagining. Chansu then wondered if he should be given another chance. He remembered that Rabbit had already mentioned it was his last one. Curious, he asked what would happen if he chose that option. Rabbit explained that Chansu would depart immediately and questioned why he was hesitating, emphasizing that this was his chance to surpass the dispatcher and become a returnee. He added that everyone would admire him and might even call him a savior, urging Chansu to consider carefully, as an entirely different life awaited him. Chansu reflected that if he stayed, he would only keep running in place. He decided to choose the goddess of abundance and discovered that the image of the chosen god would now be revealed to him. When he looked, he saw that the goddess had welcomed him. He wondered if the woman before him was truly the goddess of abundance and realized that, with her, he could do anything. Chansu then asked where he was going now. Rabbit praised his choice and created a portal, inviting him to step through. Chansu hesitated, but Rabbit was about to push him and asked if there was any problem. Chansu wondered if they were really going in, feeling that it did not look happy at all. Rabbit, noticing his doubt, asked since when objects had moods and told Chansu to look closer and appreciate the beauty. Chansu, however, saw only a deadly black hole, yet he refused to back down and felt he had succeeded in proving them wrong. Just as he braced himself, he fell into the hole after Rabbit kicked him. Angered, Chansu glared at Rabbit, who simply remarked that he was looking forward to it. A man asked Rabbit why he had done such a thing, and Rabbit wondered aloud whether it counted as direct intervention, which was forbidden. The man reminded him that he had said they absolutely could not lose Chansu, yet Rabbit was still clinging to his god. Rabbit agreed with him. A screen appeared before Chansu, warning him not to fall and explaining that a god's percentage indicated the size of their influence. Chansu was shocked to realize that the number did not represent probability. He then fell into a different world, curious to learn more about it. Looking around, he saw destroyed buildings and trees, a landscape of total ruin, which made him realize he was completely screwed.